Buckle up, buttercups. It's gonna be a very bumpy ride next month. Tomorrow is March, and it technically, to be honest with you, when you look at astrology, it's pretty much the beginning of the year. Even though the last 2 months have felt like a fucking decade, March is gonna make it feel like you're in a tunnel forever. I know I'm saying a lot of scary things, but there's so many transits happening that it's actually mind-boggling, and it's something that I've never seen before, so for sure in my lifetime. But tomorrow starts with the Venus retrograde, and this Venus retrograde in particular, this happens every 8 years. Like, it's not like that's anything new, but this one starts in Aries, which is like fire, and it goes until April like 12th or 13th, but it's gonna make the Mercury retrograde that's like right behind it look like a kindergarten bully. Like, you think that your exes are coming back? Oh no, girl. Like, fuck that crusty ex. What's actually gonna be happening is every single thing that you haven't done the work around and healing yourself in love and relationship, whether you are partnered or not, it's gonna be all the fuck flared up next month. Everything's gonna be coming forward. A lot of parental wounds are going to be coming forward. Like, if you have a parent that didn't show up for you, and or that a parent that was abusive, or that they were just all around awful, right? Or if they weren't emotionally evolved, or they're emotionally immature, what you end up doing is you end up like having partners or finding partners that will replicate that wound, even though you realize that it's a trauma and you shouldn't do it. You're going to automatically do it, right? Next month is going to be highlighting the healing that needs to happen around a parent wound in relation to you in love and relationship, and specifically. So if you were ignored by a parent, chances are that your wound is that you're not used to being seen, or you're not used to being heard, or that you wait for that person to show up. If you're in a relationship or a container where you're being forced to kind of wait for that person to show up, or if you're not being seen or heard, that wound is going to be so loud that you're going to have no other chance but to pay attention to it and to address it. Okay. And that said, past relationship wounds are going to be coming up. Patterns are going to be playing out. There is a full moon in Virgo that's happening on March 14th that's going to feel particularly spicy, because it's going to be calling for like abrupt endings, like doors closing, windows closing, everything closing down. Now, mind you, if you're doing great and if you're in therapy and you're healing and you're in a really healthy relationship, you're going to be okay. But here's the thing, is that you're going to be feeling cranky. Like, I'm already kind of feeling the onset of tomorrow, and I've been cranky for the past, like, I would say 24 hours. I have a very lovely partner who is very communicative and is just like knows when to come in and hug and shake me up and make me laugh, or also give me space. But I would say for couples, communicate as much as you can, in healthy ways during this time, because a lot of shit that you haven't been working on, or stuff that just comes up for you, is going to be ripped open, this next month specifically. I wrote notes, so I'm kind of looking down, but also, oh my gosh, redefining your self-worth is going to be a big thing. If you are in any kind of container or relationship, and even friendships that feel even remotely like people are calling or phoning it in, as Mel Robbins would say, let them go, let them do their thing, let them not show up for you. You got to release them, and you don't even have to do it with love. You could just like ghost them back, essentially. Can't believe I just said that. And then last thing is, next month is also this retrograde in Venus. This Venus retrograde is going to be about breaking contracts, but it's going to be specifically around passion versus power struggles. Now, I say that very specifically for people who are still dating, or if you're in a situationship where there's like a chaser and a runner. You're gonna be doing it so much so next month that it's gonna be so obvious that you're gonna realize, sorry, that's my pet turkey. You're gonna realize that you're sick of chasing, or you're sick of running. And I'm gonna guess that the chaser's gonna be the ones that like throw their towel in and they're done, because you're gonna start to realize, you're like, shit, I don't really love this person, and I actually kind of don't like them. I don't like this situationship, first of all, but I don't like them. And then you're going to realize that you're just trying to dominate them, that you're trying to dominate and take over the whole situation. And you're going to realize how unattractive that is. And it's going to, again, bring up tension and bring attention to the things that you need to heal and you need to even not say it. Like, you need to say it with your chest, first of all, but you need to feel it, walk it, and talk it. Like, that is like essentially the whole theme of this is, my guides just said to that specific like girl or girls or whoever like the chasers are and not the runners, aren't you tired? They just said like, aren't you tired, you know, of like chasing the same dusty crusty dude? Like, and same thing with men, even though I hear of it much less so, because a lot of women actually go to therapy, you know, it's like a thing. But aren't you tired of chasing the same person and them not showing up for you? And I remember, and I've done this myself, I'm laughing about it, but I've actually done it with like some particularly like less than nice people. I've chased some like really unfortunate folks in my time as a single woman, where they didn't deserve me and they didn't deserve my love, and I had to like kind of be beaten over the head and almost like be embarrassed by the amount of like by the amount that they didn't show up for me. And it had to like really kind of like get really clear in that I'm like, this person isn't going to show up. They're never coming around. They're never going to show me how much they love me, because they don't. And that is the message, is during this retrograde, make it work for you. Like, this is going to already be a really tough month. Take one thing off the plate. All right. I'm going to do a quick pull. I'm only going to do one card though, because this is an intense, this could be an intense retrograde essentially. And I will say this is that, you know, Venus also does retrograde. You'll see it come out as the first star in the sky at night. It'll go into a retrograde and then go into like what they call Kazemi for, I think it's like 20 days. And then it becomes the evening star that comes out before the moon rises, which is really sweet. And so that's another part of like the science behind the retrograde, and not so much the astrology, which is a science too. Nice. Two of Pentacles. All right. I like this because Two of Pentacles, this is for my people in container. These are for my people who are in relationship. Whenever I pull this card, it means work on it. Like, work on it. Whatever the container it is that you are in romance, if it's something that is healthy and you guys are like, you've worked on your wounds and you're finally showing up for yourselves first and each other second, this tells me that there's like some work to do around communication. Now, anyone who is not in container and is single, this is an opportunity and a card for you to work on yourself. Like, it's to work on the shadow self, right? And to do some shadow work next month. Show up for yourself the way that you want to be shown up for. And if you really want to be in love, then universe will they will deliver that person. But here's what they won't do, because eclipse season's coming up as well. You have a couple months ahead of you of doing the work, because they're not coming during the eclipse season. That is like when shit gets wild. Do the work on yourself, like show up and love yourself. And that's all that you could do. Like, sitting back and doing nothing during this retrograde would be a disservice to yourself. Show up for yourself and do the work, and hang on tight. Good luck.